You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optobotanist truly has the touch.
With another video review, and today finally, after already getting Masterpiece 14 and Masterpiece 15, today we'll be taking a look at the Masterpiece 13 Destron Communications Officer Soundwave. And as you can see, we're back to the big boxes because I have to show my sides and I hate doing that. But as you can see, the packaging, huge again, very nice. You got the Transformer Masterpiece logo right there. You got Soundwave right there. You got the logo again there. You got a bunch of stuff that I can't read right there. You got the contents pretty much. One thing that I did actually learn, courtesy of a guy at Staples, this right here, this top section, that actually apparently says Transformers, which is strange to me because it doesn't look like it, but oh well. Flip it around here on the back, you see the actual size of Soundwave as well as the cassette. Possibly a bio of some sorts, in addition to a image of Soundwave with Laserbeak perched on his shoulder, or I'm sorry, his forearm. A bit right here showing other cassettes, which I'm assuming that's obviously Ravage and then Rumble or Frenzy, whatever you want to go by. The Masterpiece version of Laserbeak, and then all the various accessories that he comes with. So very, very cool. I'm absolutely thrilled that they went back to these large boxes. He is a bigger size figure, a lot bigger than what we were getting before, and it's really cool to actually have that again. But this is a figure that I know a lot of people are really looking forward to, especially this guy right here. So let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Masterpiece Soundwave opened up and out of its packaging. And this guy is absolutely everything that I hoped he would be. Now one thing that's very interesting is when I got this, I was under the impression that the Energon Cube and the little kind of grid sort of thing here, these were supposed to be Amazon Japan exclusives. That was my impression. Now unfortunately I was, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, fortunately I was wrong. All standard editions come with one Energon Cube and this little grid sort of thing. It's the Amazon exclusive that comes with, I think, 3 of these Energon cubes, which I really do like these, and I'll get to this here in a minute. It's amazing how a little clear box can really impress you, but I'll get to that stuff in a little bit. Now, in addition to all that other stuff, it does come with paperwork. It does have a little bit of an explanation of one of the gimmicks, much like the Fall of Cybertron Soundwave, where you could store 3 cassettes or data discs. This guy can as well. And we'll get to that here in a little bit, but that just gives you sort of instructions that most people can't read, so that you actually know how to do that. It comes with this little, we've seen these before. I still have no idea what it is. I guess if you go to like TakaraTomiFans.com and put in that code, something good happens. I have no idea, but you get one of these. You get not one, but you get 2 actual collector cards, one for Soundwave and one for Condor, because he does come with a Masterpiece version of Laserbeak, obviously. Flip around here on the back of Soundwave, you got an image of the actual toy in his robot mode, the device mode, you got his tech specs, some read-up stuff here. Same thing with Laserbeak, robot mode, cassette mode, and his tech specs. So again, very cool that they're including these collector cards. I absolutely dig these. Obviously comes with his instruction manual that when you open it up has the contents. You got probably a little read up here on Soundwave himself. Come around here, it shows all the various accessories. You got his concussion blaster and how you use that. You got the extra sensor that he comes with that plugs into his hand. You got the Megatron gun, which I believe the MP-01 came with initially. Now I want to talk about this as well. It comes with this display piece, which is really very cool. And as you can see on the instructions, it shows you the image, because if you remember, Soundwave could really kind of display stuff on his chest. The instructions show you putting that piece of, well, paper, I guess, and then the grid over it. They actually include that. When you come to the back, they actually have the display sheet, so you can actually take this, put it over, for example, go like this, and put that on Soundwave, or you could do that one. The problem, though, is you have to cut it off of the instruction sheet, and on the back, obviously, it's got some written material and stuff, so it really sucks that they don't have that. Now, you can copy it, you can scan it. I just really wish that they included something like that, preferably printed on something like a card or something, just to give you a real kind of quality sort of display piece right there. That's one bit that really does kind of suck and kind of bum me out. I love that they included that. That's so awesome. I just think they really could have enhanced it a little bit more. And then he comes with the Energon Cube, as you could see right here, which can just be an Energon Cube or it can actually attach to him, which we'll all get to here later on. And then the eject feature, which is so very cool. You can see Laserbeak is inside there, and like I said, you can store up to 3 cassettes. And we do know that we're getting 2-pack releases of it's like Rumble and Ravage, then Frenzy, and someone else. I don't remember who else we're getting, but you can see him right there. Then you got all the instructions on how to actually transform them. Then, like I said, you have this section right here that shows his device mode, and then the back with the display sheet, and then all the various incarnations of Soundwave, which is really very cool to kind of see the progression, I guess, of the character. Absolutely awesome. I do love this. I'm really happy. My biggest complaint, like I said, is that on the instruction sheet, they put the display sheet, which then you have to kind of destroy the instructions to actually utilize those. Now, coming up to Soundwave himself, as you can see, a nice representation of the old cassette player, which a lot of kids nowadays probably don't know really what it is. But this is actually really nice. It's a little bit thicker than I think I would have imagined, but I love how they put all these kind of little bits on here to really make it look like it is a real cassette player. I mean, you got the on-off switch here, which moves up and down. You got a volume control, which does kind of rotate it. It doesn't rotate fully. It just kind of moves up and down just a little bit. And then you got connector ports right here, which if you remember from the original animated movie, that's like the part where he connected to playback Laserbeak's spy deeds. Absolutely fantastic. You got the play button, you got pause, stop, you got fast forward, rewind. These buttons you can actually push in. It's so very cool. These are kind of locked into position. They don't do anything, but the forward and rewind buttons do push in. The record button here, it's really very hard to tell, but it's actually a red crystal inside there. It's very hard to tell because there's no light piping or anything to go through there. But when you get it in hand, guys, you're going to notice when you get it up to your face, it's actually like a red piece of plastic that's there, which is really very cool. I just wish there was some way to actually incorporate highlighting that red bit. Left speaker, right speaker. Naturally, you got the eject button, and then you actually have a port right here for like headphones or something. And just to kind of show that, you got, well, this is my iPod earbuds. It doesn't go in all the way, but it does fit in there. It goes in probably maybe 2/3 of the way or so, but I mean that's really kind of cool that's again incorporated. Just really adds to the realism of him. Now, for a size comparison, here he is. And here's what I think this was a reissue version of Soundwave, but you can really see the size difference here. Now this is the Sound Blaster mold with the bigger cassette sort of thing here, but I mean, much, much bigger here. Now, one thing that people have complained about is the back. I can totally see where people would not like this. I mean, this is a very kind of squared off, streamlined sort of look here. This one, you got some junk really kind of here. And this is his sensor, and if you take that away, you got a big gaping hole here. But you put that in there and it kind of sort of fills it in. I honestly would imagine like a third-party company being able to come along and make something to fit in there just to kind of flatten that out. It wouldn't be hard to do really at all. I mean, you got a peg right here that this already pegs into. You could absolutely put something in there just to kind of square this off where that would hide it. So I could totally see, like I said, a third-party company doing something like that just to kind of make it look a little bit better, because from the back, I guess it's probably the weakest look for it. But, I mean, you can really see a big size difference here between the two, but you can also see how much influence the new Masterpiece figure has from the original vintage toy. Now, coming up to Laserbeak, we're going to take a look at the original first. So you just pop this open, and you guys have seen this before. Here you have Laserbeak, the G. Well, again, it's the reissue, but it's basically the same one. Same thing with here. Boom, pops that open, that slides out. Now look, that's amazing. These are just about identical. In fact, they are like literally identical sizes. It's so incredible what they were able to do with this. It's absolutely amazing. And of course, the back is going to look ugly. I mean, that's just the way it is. But from the front, this looks really very cool. I am so amazed with how that looks. Now, with this one, if you remember, you transform the guy, getting him into his little birdie mode. Really, it was kind of a bit of a, what? It's slightly a parts former, because this is what you got with Laserbeak, and then you have his little thrusters that you come around here, and you peg, oh, well, no, they go right there. You peg these on. So it was never too bad, not something worth complaining about or anything, but here's the G1 Laserbeak. Now to transform this guy, you really want to kind of take your finger here in the center and push right through there. That's gonna just give you a little bit of a I guess edge on being able to grab his beak and pull him out, except my fingernails are extremely short because I bite my fingernails, so it really sucks. But once you get that pushed through, like I said, you get a little bit of a leeway here where you can pull out Laserbeak's head. That folds out just like so. Then you take these bits and you actually rotate these around. Kinda, there we go. Come on, there we go. And you can see that these little extra bits that you had to plug in specifically on the G1, this is actually built in to this. So really very cool. And then you fold these little bits up like so. Come around here to the bottom, fold these, rotate these out. Do that on this side as well. Then this back section here, this folds down, rotate that around, fold that down and around, and here you have the new masterpiece version of Laserbeak. And I mean, again, this is such a wonderful representation of Laserbeak. It's mind-boggling. I mean, the G1 version was never all that bad. This one is just absolutely a masterpiece. My one real kind of complaint is I wish his wings could angle up a little bit. As it is, I don't think there's any way that you couldn't really do that, but it would be nice if you could angle his wings up a little bit. But you can actually bend them down, kind of angle these forward, go like so, and you can have him where it looks like he's just sitting there. I mean, it's so cool. So freaking cool. I love this guy. You got two nice Decepticon logos right there, and like this one here, you have the Decepticon logo here on his head. But on this guy's head, zoom in so you can see a little bit more. Again, you push on the back a little bit, and a la original animated movie, he's got a little spy camera right there, and you couldn't see it, sorry. But that's so wickedly cool. Now, my biggest complaint about this figure, and this is only a nitpick, I suppose, is I absolutely wish his head could rotate. It can't. Unfortunately, it can look up, it can look down. It's got two joints here, so you can get it doing that. Like I said, the wings, you can get them bending down. There's two joints actually right there. You can get these moving forward and back. They can also rotate, but his head can't rotate, and that's really kind of unfortunate. And that's my only complaint about this guy. Everything else is absolutely exquisite. This is, like I said, an absolute masterpiece version, and it is really a masterpiece Transformer. I absolutely love this, and you can really see that this guy actually gets smaller as he transforms, and whereas this one kind of maintains the same size, this guy really does get a little bit smaller looking, and just in general, like I said, looks so much better. I absolutely love this little dude. So setting him off to the side, one thing that I did kind of want to show is, because these are the same size cassettes, what you can do is on this guy, you can actually push this back all the way in, and then you can take these cassettes and you can put them inside here, just like so. And getting the G1 Laserbeak back in his cassette mode again, boom, boom. Now, like I said, I have 3 cassettes inside there. So you open it, boom, and sometimes, this is one thing that kind of sucks, sometimes this doesn't open very good. Or rather, not all the time does the actual cassette kind of come forward as well. As you can see, it kind of gets stuck there, but you can just pull it forward just like so, and phew, that comes flying out. Now, these ones are stuck here in the back. You actually have this button here in the back that when you push it, it notches it up one at a time. So well, you're supposed to. Oh, no, oops. You're supposed to push it down. My bad. Okay, so that was quite interesting. So we'll get that back in there. Okay, so now close that up kind of, and then come down here, push this down, and it moves another figure forward. Opens, ejects. Close this back up, push this down again. Boom, now that one's in the front. So much better of a implementation of the cassette feature and them ejecting than what we got previously with that Fall of Cybertron Soundwave. And you don't get a ridiculously huge plunger thing that comes out. You just push this lever back, and one by one, the cassettes will move forward. So incredibly awesome. Now, just like all the cassettes previously we've ever gotten for Soundwave, he comes with a cassette holder. And again, using the G1 version, you just put it in there and you got it. Perfectly fits still. Now, obviously, the Masterpiece Laserbeak is going to fit in here perfectly as well. It's just a nice little touch to have something like that, and it's, well, actually, I guess it could, well, supposed to fit like this. So, wait, maybe it goes like that? Whatever. I mean, you can see that it fits in there. So, boom, boom. So very cool. I love the fact that they still include these. It's just kind of a giddy little thing. Now, the transformation for this guy, while fairly simple to do, is actually really kind of fun. It's not overly simple that really makes it kind of like blah. I mean, it's a Masterpiece Transformer, so it should have a level of sophistication with its transformation, and this guy definitely does. So to transform him, what you want to do first, come around here to the side, and then this part's actually probably the hardest to do. Getting these little bits separate where you're able to fold these out. It's kind of a pain, honestly. Here, I'm just gonna move all this stuff, kind of loosen everything up, get that out of the way. You're transforming this as easily as you possibly can, so moving all this stuff out of the way really kind of helps. Angle it up so you can see a little bit more. You have to really kind of get in there and really pull these bits out. It's tough because this joint right here is really stiff. So just, there we go. Pull that out, rotate that around, do that on this side as well. Kind of angle this. Again, this is probably the toughest part, honestly. Get that out. Yeah! And it's just that joint right there that is really stiff. So just keep your eye on that. And then if you want to, you can put this stuff back down. Just if you want to. It doesn't honestly matter. And come around here to this. Kind of loosen this. Well, you need to take that off anyhow. And then straighten these out. Just like so. Just like so. This is tabbed on the side. So kind of give that a good pull. Pull that out just like so. And the transformation is fairly similar to the G1 toy, which is something that I'm really impressed with them being able to really kind of do. Then take this section here, actually slide this down, and then lift this up, rotate these bits down, bring this down and under, just like so. Then you want to take this entire kind of top section here and slide this back. Or, I'm sorry, move this forward. So it was like so, and then it's a very subtle movement, but move it forward just like that. Bring these legs down like so, rotate the feet, kind of extend this out then, rotate that around, bring this down, rotate that around. That kind of tabs in on the side. This piece came off of his butt, so just set that off to the side like so. Rotate that around, rotate that around, bring the feet down like so, bring this down, and you got a little slot section right here and a little groove that when you bring that down, that just pegs into. And here you have his legs done. Now, well, bring this up and then angle that together, and then that pegs into his butt. Now, here's his legs. Now, his legs are a point of contention for a lot of people because there's actually different ways that you can position his legs. Now, this is kind of the official way to transform him. You've got the same knee articulation and everything, but as you see with these little notches right up here, it's very G1 toy-esque. Now, you could remove that by rotating this around and then rotating this. Now that will also give you a double knee joint here. If you like that look better than that look, not much is going to be different, honestly. I mean, you'll add an extra knee joint, like I said. I mean, whereas this one just has the regular knee joint, you now have this section up here bending. But a lot of people have really kind of complained about his hip area and the backward motion of his legs. Now, you can go one notch back and actually extend it back just a little bit. You can see where that's flat and that's kind of angled back. If you do it this way, where the hip articulation is at this ratchet joint, now the hip articulation will be up here on this ball section, and that will rotate back as well. And if you rotate that back all the way and you have that one notch there, you're basically getting the exact same range of motion here. So it really doesn't matter what you want to do in terms of the hip articulation. One thing that I will say is that if you have the leg like this, the rotation now is on the ball joint. So, well, it's not really a ball joint, it's just a swivel joint right up here, the ball section. So that's where the leg is going to be rotating. If you leave it like this, it's now rotating on this ratchet joint here, and the ball functions as a outward swivel. This still has a, I mean, it moves forward and back, but now the outward swivel comes on the ratchet joint. So it really is personal preference, I suppose. Do you want to have a double articulated knee? Do you like the way that the ball joint, or I keep saying ball joint, it's not a ball joint, it's just a ball up here. Do you like having that being what rotates at his hip? I mean, it looks a little bit better, I suppose, because it's a little bit higher than this. But if you want the official transformation, this is it, guys. This is the official transformation with these gouges kind of here in the front, which is what the original toy, like I said, had. Now for the rest of his transformation, after that giant spiel, just kind of rotate these around. These are going to lock into place. Do that on this side as well. That clips into place. You got this gun, his concussion blaster, or whatever they called it. Go ahead and remove that. This section here actually rotates up and then rotates on another joint around, just like so. Fold these little tab bits, whatever, down. Fold this bit back. You got his head inside here, and rotate his head out. Close that. Come around here to his arms. Open these inner flaps. Rotate his fists out. Close. Open. Rotate. Again, stiff, which is good. Close. And boys and girls, children of all ages, here you have Masterpiece Soundwave in his very cool, absolutely phenomenal looking robot mode. And if you were impressed with how great he looked in his alternate mode, this robot mode really should impress you even that much more. There is very little that I do not like about this figure. And as you can see, one question that I know a lot of people are going to be asking is, can he push his own eject button? And as you can see, yeah, he can. And push it down, and boom, you can have him open up his own chest piece. So wonderful touch. There's so much that's involved with this guy that it really is amazing. All the little subtle bits just absolutely put this guy over the edge. Now, going back to his kind of his accessories first, I put this back on here. Like I said, he's got his concussion blaster, which opens up by going like this, and then again, the lack of long fingernails is very tough for a video reviewer. So I'm gonna take my little thing here and wedge this out. Come on, maybe I'll wedge it out. There we go. And then you pull out his handle to hold his gun. You got this bit right up in here. Pull this out. And again, there's this concussion blaster, which is a very nice representation, again, of how the actual vintage toy looked, and even the cartoon kind of bit right here. So very cool on that. I absolutely love it. He's got the little tabs, kind of like what we got with Rodimus Prime, and that's how he holds his gun. And on the inside here of his hands, one thing that I will tell you is that the articulation in his hands, God, and the joints are very, very stiff. The index finger is a little bit rough. The finger likes popping off sometimes, but the fingers are individually articulated, except the bottom ones. I mean, those are all locked together. The index finger is separate, but that one little bit right there will pop off, so you do have to be careful with that. And then you got the slot right on the inside here, so you just take this,
tab it in there, bring his hand closed and around, and he holds his concussion blaster really very nicely. Now, in addition to that, he also does come with this hand sensor, which to utilize that, you have to transform this back. So tuck his fist back in there. Oh, but see right here, the finger bit popped off. It's just on a little kind of hinge joint, so it pops right back on there. But you want to be careful with that when you're moving that around. You don't want to lose that piece or anything. So pop this open, rotate his fist around, close that, and then you got two little notches or little holes here. You got the notches right there, and boom. So now he's got his sensor that he can do things with. And honestly, I don't remember seeing that all that much. So it's probably like the pile driver sort of situation with Sideswipe, so whatever. And if you don't want to actually have that there, you can still keep this pegged into the back of his butt, which is very unfortunate. And again, with the concussion blaster, you can still keep that pegged up here on his back section. So there's that bit in here. I guess I can rotate his hand back out. And then just like the MP-01, he does come with a Megatron. That does come with the removable kind of bits on here. So, I mean, to make him look more G1 accurate, you can do it like this. And this is kind of hard to get to slide off, but the Megatron gun is, as far as I can tell, is exactly what we got with the MP-01, where it can still slide out like so. And then we're gonna put it on here. Just open this up. It doesn't have the tab thing, so I'm just gonna tuck this away, put that back on his back section for storage. It doesn't have a tab or anything like this, but he just kind of holds it in a normal way, so just kind of fit it down as far as you can, kind of keep the index finger, bring his other hands around, and then you can kind of keep his index finger there where he's basically holding it. And honestly, you don't even have to have that extended all that much. So there you can see him holding Megatron and looking really very cool doing it. I mean, I do love that they included that. That's a wonderful touch to have, and it's good that they actually are using this again in some kind of fashion. So I'm very happy with this. Obviously, he has Laserbeak, which is probably his biggest accessory. Now, the really cool thing is that it's actually designed where he can actually have Laserbeak perched on him. Now, zooming in so you can actually see that. Right here at the top, you got these little ridges both here and here, and honestly, it's ingenious. You got little sections right here on the bottom of his feet. You can kind of see where it's a groove slot kind of thing, and all you do is put it right on there, fit the groove in there, and boom, now you have Laserbeak on his shoulder, and it stays on there very nicely. I mean, it doesn't flop off or anything, so you can have that option. Or the other thing that's really cool is on both of his arms, and it's kind of hard to see, but you got a little clear bit right there. I'm trying to, well, you can see it like that. That little clear bit actually sticks up, and you can see with my finger there, the clear bit would get lost in the white, but you have that, and you can take this, and again, with the same groove section, you can have him holding Laserbeak like that. I mean, it's so incredibly awesome. And both arms have that actual little groove slot, so you can put it on either side or whatever. That's just absolutely phenomenal, if you ask me. I totally love that. Now, it also comes with an Energon Cube that when I initially started this review, I spoke about how I thought that this wasn't coming with this figure, and that was a mistake on my part. What I discovered is that all standard editions of the Masterpiece Soundwave will come with one of these Energon Cubes. It's that Amazon Japan exclusive that's going to come with, I believe, a total of 3 of these. So everybody will still get one of these little guys, which is really very cool because something about this I absolutely love. It's an Energon Cube. It's an empty Energon Cube because, as you remember from the show, when the cubes were filled, they became like this pinkish kind of thing. Now, to kind of do that, Takara gave you a paper craft thing, which I made, and you can see it's not very good. It's made out of paper, and I don't have a very high quality printer, so you can see like the lines and stuff. You're supposed to be able to take this off, and that, well, I'll show that off here in a minute, and you're supposed to be able to take this and slide it in there, and fill your Energon Cube. But it doesn't work very well, and it kind of looks like crap. So, not a very big fan of that. But you can put this on there, and like I said, you can have a full cube. Or you can actually take it with this section off. You can plug it onto his chest like so, and you can have Soundwave deploying Energon cubes to be filled, which is absolutely fantastic. That's a great homage to the original series. I think that's a wonderful inclusion for this set. And like I said, for some reason, I just really dig having Energon cubes. I want more. A bunch more, and hopefully Takara did end up selling those pile drivers separately, so you could buy those with your Sideswipe figure. Hopefully they'll release something like this, or maybe a third-party company will come around and make some in like this color or something, because I want a bunch of these little dudes. And for the last extra accessory, as I mentioned before, you have these display sheets, except you can't really cut them out because you would end up destroying your instruction manual. So what my wife and I did was we went to Staples and we actually got copies of these. As you can see, here's a just sheet of it. I had it copied on fairly thick glossy photo paper, and obviously you can see it's a very high quality representation here. So in doing that, I was able to get them and cut them out, and now I have them. So what you can do with this is just take this, come around here, put that there on his chest, put that there, and boom, now he has the display right on his chest, which that is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic inclusion. I absolutely dig it. Now it does make his chest a little bit bigger, but it's not too bad if you ask me. And then if you want to, you can remove that and you can have him displaying the arc. Put that right there in his chest, put that there as well. And boom, now you have him displaying the arc, and like the instructions showed, he can be pointing his finger at it, which again, it's kind of hard to get his fingers. I mean, the joints are just really stiff on his fingers, so you can have him pointing here at the arc. I mean, that's just so ridiculously cool. And again, a feature that just really adds to this entire overall set. All these little inclusions just are absolutely incredible. I so dig it. Now, the biggest feature with this is, again, the chest gimmick. All you have to do is open it up, push this section all the way back, and using the same cassettes that I had before, you just push them all the way in there. And like I said, it's all the way extended back, so when you close this now, you can see it doesn't extend anything back here. I mean, it stays the same thickness, which is wonderful. It's a cool gimmick, and this is the proper way to do it. What we got with the Fall of Cybertron Soundwave just was absolutely terrible. So you push it, and then again, it doesn't really extend outward all that well. So boom, those kind of flop forward, and then you can have him deploy Laserbeak in this case, and close that just so they don't come flying out. You push this button down, and the other one's jet forward, come out, boom, jet forward, boom, and they fly out. And that is a wonderful bit to have included for this figure, simply because we know what we are getting: Rumble and Frenzy, Ravage, and Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw was the other one that I forgot. That's what we're getting. But they're doing it where you have to get like Rumble and Ravage in a 2-pack, and then Buzzsaw and Frenzy. So if you don't really want Buzzsaw, and I really don't want Buzzsaw because I like Laserbeak a whole lot more. You're stuck getting them basically, but the primary characters, really Rumble, or the blue cartoon version of Rumble, I should say, as well as Laserbeak and Ravage, all can fit in this guy, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing that really helps me and really kind of sells this figure. Now, for a size comparison, we're just gonna do this because it's silly. So here is the Masterpiece Soundwave, and here's the G1 version. And again, just kind of panning down and up, you can see there is a real good size difference. This is definitely a Masterpiece size figure. And then this guy actually has the custom cartoon accurate head that was available through Made in Japan. But you can see there is a lot of similarities here. Now, some people have, and I will say rightly complain, because this the Masterpiece one doesn't store the batteries in the battery compartment, and it also doesn't have a clip just like the original toy did. Although the little lever to push this down, you can actually see, zooming in there, you can actually see that there is a little bit of a hook on that button. So you might be able to actually have it hook on something, I suppose. And for some more size comparisons and things of that nature, here you have him next to the new version, or the new Seeker mold, specifically Thundercracker. Now obviously Starscream, the MP-11 is going to be the same size, but as you can see, Soundwave is a little bit taller than this guy, which is roughly to scale, so it works for me. Here he is next to the recent Masterpiece Sideswipe, which again, scale-wise, is pretty close, because in robot mode, Soundwave was a fairly big figure. It's just really kind of funny that when he transforms into a cassette, he's bigger still than a car, so it's crazy. Here you have him next to the heroic leader of the Autobots, and Optimus Prime is a good head or so taller than Soundwave. Again, fairly accurate in terms of the scale, but where things get a little bit crazy is when you put him next to the Masterpiece Megatron. And really, this is a definite case in point where we need a version 2.0 of Megatron, and we need him really soon. Now for his articulation, as with a lot of Masterpiece figures, this guy is really loaded with it. His head is on a really nice, not a ball joint, but you can get him looking up, down, left, right, whichever way you really kind of want. He actually kind of looks down fairly well, and that's actually a really good head sculpt too. Very cartoon accurate, wonderful red eyes on there, so very cool. His shoulders will rotate all the way around. They also move in and out right here at this joint, but then they also rotate in and out here. He does rotate at the bicep. He's got a double joint here at the elbow. The wrists rotate. Like I said before, his index finger has a joint here and here. The thumb does not move, but then the other fingers down here, they're all just locked together, and they only bend at this joint right down there. He does rotate at the waist very nicely. The hips, again, it really kind of depends on how you choose to do the hips. I mean, like I said, his hips will move forward. Well, they'll move forward all the way. They move back at one notch, so you do get some motion going back. People have complained about it, but what are you going to do? If you do rotate it around, you get a double joint here at the knee. Here, let me just show you that. You will get a double joint at the knee. Again, it just depends on how you choose to display them and to transform them. So that's entirely up to you. He has a knee joint either way. He does rotate at the knee as well. The feet here, which are die cast, much like the original toy, move back and forward. They kind of come outward a little bit so that you can get a little bit more kind of a lean forward, I guess. They move like that and everything. So, I mean, you can pull it all the way out like that. That's actually kind of weird that would come all the way out like so. So I have no idea why they choose to do that, but whatever. So there's that. So the articulation on the guy is very top notch and absolutely worth the money that you're paying for it. This is also articulated, if you want to be technical, I guess, so you can move that any way that you want as well. Just about everything that you could think of having in a Masterpiece figure, Soundwave, in my opinion, has it. A phenomenal looking cassette player mode, the transformation that is not too complicated but gives you the satisfaction of being a Masterpiece transformation, and then a robot mode that just, in my mind, blows me away. All the little bits included really does make this guy, in my opinion, the best Masterpiece figure that we've gotten to date. Even more than Optimus Prime, which I thought was a phenomenal figure. This guy just edges him out for me. Now, to transform him back, you're going to want to rotate these bits. And I mean, look, on the inside here, he's got like all this detail on the inside of his just random part. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, so this does suck. It's not too bad. It's just the joints are so tight that forces out, and it's probably gonna vary with different people's figures. So tab that in like so. Tab this in. One thing that I will mention, and I didn't through the course of this video, is there are a couple paint blemishes. Nothing terrible, but you got on mine I have a silver splotch right here, which I could actually probably just scrape that off just like so. And then right here on the side, it's just like extra flash, but you got that little nub right there. And then on that side as well, that I could easily fix with just some silver paint. But that's all I've noticed in terms of paint blemishes. But I know some people were concerned about that. So rotate that down just like so. Take this section, come up so you can see it. Rotate this around, bring this down, and then you want to take this gun and you're going to tab that back just like so. Open this back compartment, rotate his head. One thing that does kind of suck too is I wish there was a way to push it to make his mouth plate move up and down, but you can't. Fold that back down, peg that right up inside. Then take these little side bits here on the back of his shoulder, lift those up. Do that on both sides. Untab this, rotate this around. Some people have asked if he can do the spy mode. You can kind of sort of replicate that. It's not, I mean, you could do it like so. I mean, you can sort of replicate it. I mean, obviously, you're going to have it like so, and then bend it like that. I mean, you can sort of actually do that if that's something that you guys really wanted to do. Angle that back, get it back to where we were, and then you know, it's a wonderful touch. I'm not very creative with things, so if somebody does come up with a better version of it, I would like to see it, just because I'd like to replicate it. And I'm gonna leave these up. Get this out of the way. I'm going to leave these up just to make it a little bit easier to transform them. Take these bits, rotate these out to the side, and then rotate these around like so on his feet. Just like so. We'll tab all that in here in just a second. Take this section here. You're going to first untab that from there, rotate this down, rotate these bits out like so, fold that out like so, bring that down, and then you're going to make his pelvic area thrust forward a little bit. Kind of keep that up, kind of slide that up. Well, no, I'll wait to slide that up for a second. Rotate these bits around, up like so, and then push this little button here, which will release the lock on his leg, and you can slide it down like so. Then you bring this up, that locks in together right there. Do that on this side as well. So you're going to rotate this up, rotate that around, push this button down, releases the leg, bring this up, peg it together. Oh, and I knocked his missile thing off. That locks together right there. Hit the camera a little bit, and then take this section, and then you can slide this up, and that fits right in there like so. Come around here, then again, kind of lock this up, tab that right in like so, and then these bits, again, very stiff at this joint. Rotate that around, rotate that. That's going to slot up in there, kind of push that together, push all that together. Do that on this side as well. Very tight joint there, which I guess some people could be concerned that might stress that, but I haven't seen any stress marks or anything yet, so that should be okay. Then if this popped out, just take this, put that back in there, rotate this down. Now you're going to have, actually, these are supposed to be rotated around like so. You got a little indentation right there and a little tab on there that you just fold it down, push it into place. Do that on this side as well. Push that into place. Then you take that, you plug that into his butt, and here you have Soundwave back in his cassette mode. But that's about it, guys, so I hope you enjoyed the look at the new Masterpiece 13 Soundwave. Without a doubt, this figure I would absolutely recommend picking up. Now, there is very substantial rumor going around that we will be getting a Hasbro release of this, and if that's the case, the price will probably come down, but some accessories may be cut out, like we might not get Laserbeak, we might not get Megatron's gun, things of that nature. I don't know specifically, but if you are willing to wait, I say go for it. Either way, this figure is a must-have for a Transformer collector. If you are interested in picking this guy up right now, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. It'll take you to Big Bad Toy Store. You can pick this guy up and pre-order the upcoming cassettes, which I absolutely also recommend having with Soundwave. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus and follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
When the going gets rough, you've been put to the test, but it's never enough. You got the touch. You got